been a chaotic night. Oh my gosh, let me organize myself. Y'all welcome to Vibe Time on Facebook Live. We're going to be talking about the Boo Bitches tonight. That's our new group. Yeah. Love that song. I left my water somewhere. If I don't drink it, I won't get my 151 ounces in. I don't know where I left it. I got one here, but I need another one. Oh my goodness. I want to welcome everybody to Vibe Time with Geri. Into a little bit of a bind, but Traci has come to the rescue. Tonight, we were supposed to have Kimberly Moxley on my show. She has canceled because she's at the ER. So, I have Traci Ann coming on tonight, and we are going to be talking about our Boo Bitches group. So, this is a ladies only group, and I'm very excited about it. So, I'm not going to keep Traci waiting because we got like an hour. Well, we don't even have that now. We got 56 minutes left. So, hold on. Let me unmute her. Are you there? Are you there? Can you hear me?
Hello, Geri.
Hello, thank you. I can. Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you for the rescue.
Okay. No problem.
Oh my gosh.
Hey,
Yeah, that's right. I appreciate that.
well, thank you for having me on. I think that, the more we talk about this event, the more people are going to come on board and be involved. And, I want to hype it up, man. I think it's going to be amazing.
It will be. It will be. And we've already sold. We don't even have that. How many tickets do we have left the last time we checked? Because we sold...
22?
How many?
I don't know. I don't math.
Okay. I know that it's...
With 30. I know there's been at least 4 tickets. I don't know about today because Dennis, of course, is on the road rescuing somebody whose engine blew up.
Oh, no.
So I don't know what the Eventbrite has sent to him. But I know that tickets are slowly going, but as the event gets closer to the 30th of August for next year, because that's the event date, is April 30th, May 1st, right over Beltane weekend of 2022, the tickets are going to get sold quickly. I think this is going to be a sellout event, not only because it's one of the first ladies only that I'm, at least for the cabin that I'm aware of, but also because of the cause that we're sponsoring, which is one of our local shelters in Virginia that helps with the survivors of domestic violence. So
Right.
I think that cause is going to be dear to many people.
I agree. And I think the event's going to sell out here within the next couple weeks.
Yeah,
That's just
I'm
me.
excited because if it does sell out, we're going to have another one.
Yeah. Yeah. It is for a good cause. So...
Absolutely.
Let's talk about how it got started.
A phone call, just like this.
Yeah.
You. Actually, it started because you were wearing a really cool T-shirt on Facebook, and I really liked the picture. It said "Boo" something.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it said "bitches." What did your shirt say?
It said Bitch Club.
Bitch Club, but it had a little ghost on it.
It did.
Right?
Yep. It's from the Bitch Club.
Yeah. So for some reason, in my dyslexic brain, it saw Boo Bitches, and I thought, well, isn't that cool? That would be such a fun thing. And And then I'm laying in bed, you know how you do at night when you like settling in, and I thought, Boo Bitches. Wouldn't it be cool to have an all-female paranormal group? And then my brain went ping, and it said, wouldn't it be cool to have an event at the cabin? I'm like, I got access to that. I'm going to call my brother from another mother dentist. So I called you first, and I said, wouldn't it be cool? And you were like, yeah, yes it would.
Yeah.
And then we talked about, you know, getting Dennis in the cabin, and we just put him in on a three-way call and roped him right in, poor guy. I still think he needs to show up in pink press-on nails, a wig, and a dress so he can come and be an honorary Boo Bitch.
I agree.
It would be hysterical. If he shows up in drag to that event, I'm going to lose my mind.
He might surprise us.
No, but that's really how it started. It was just a conversation with an idea, and then a thought, if it's going to be ladies only, what is something that women can really help support other women? And the first thing that came to my mind was domestic violence.
Yeah.
Because so many women in the paranormal have been attacked, solicited, raped, abused. I thought, there's so many of us out there that we don't tell our stories, and we don't even know how to support each other, that Boo Bitches would not only be a group that supports domestic violence, but supports survivors within its own group to provide a safe space. And eventually, I would love to see this group become kind of like that group that's, the bikers that take kids to their court appointment, and then they sit there around the child as protection and support, so that if someone walks in a Boo Bitch t-shirt to one of your events, you know right there you have a representative. You have someone who is going to support you, who's going to be there to listen, who's going to be there to make sure everybody has a safe event. And if shit goes down and there's a Boo Bitch at your event, you better be on point.
That's right. Because we'll go downtown Judy Brown.
To help support and just to be a presence.
Right.
Kind of like the Hells Angels are a presence, but be a more positive presence.
Yeah, we'll just be a Boo Bitch
But
presence.
I don't know. I just kind of have this. Yeah, I just kind of had this feeling that this could be something really big.
Yeah.
You know, the movie Hercules, indoor plumbing, it's going to be big. Boo Bitches, it's going to be big.
Yeah, I
agree. Even if it doesn't go anywhere beyond one event, I think this event would be stellar. One, it's at the cabin. I mean, come on, that place is amazing. You've investigated there so many more times. Tell some stories. Talk about that location.
Exactly. There's just so much to tell about the cabin on 360. It's like there is not one time that I have not been to the cabin on 360 where there has been activity, whether it's in the Brook Rancher, whether it's in the woods, whether it's in the cabin itself, upstairs. I mean, it's such an active place. You can't get you just can't get any better than the cabin. You can't. It's just, like I said, it's so active, and I have investigated there quite a few times, and it's just, I have clear-cut EVPs of just so many different things with the cabin. So.
Well, I really enjoyed the last time. I think it was one of the last times you were there. You guys were upstairs in the brothel bedroom.
Yes.
Upstairs in the cabin. And you were getting so much light conversation and the EVPs of the women coming through.
Right.
And again, domestic violence right there at the cabin.
Right.
It happened. I would love to touch base with those spirits. What happened?
Yeah, that would be very interesting.
And then if you add in the Civil War history and the Battle of Bethesda Church and Cold Creek?
Cold Harbor?
Dennis would be the one.
Cold Harbor?
Cold Harbor, thank you. And the fact that so many men on that property, both Union and Confederate, and the history of that land during the Civil War. And we've got 7 acres of it to go out and play in. Mm-hmm. There was one time I was out, the very first time I ever came to the cabin, we were out in the woods, and the whole group was out in the woods, and we had our flashlights, and we were all out there doing our thing, and myself, another gentleman, and his son somehow got separated from the herd. I think I went off to go look at something. There was something on a tree, like a hunter's reflector, and I saw it glitter, and I wanted to see what it was. Glitter! Oh, I'm gone. Because I have a bit of a queen, and I'm a fairy by trade. So anyway, they went with me to investigate, and we turned around, and the group was gone. I swear to Goddess Geri that we walked through some kind of a doorway. We walked through something that just took us out into the woods by ourselves. It was just the three of us.
Oh, wow.
And we could not find Dennis. And, he's got that big old candlelight flashlight that could, land a plane.
Yep.
Nothing. We couldn't see anybody. We couldn't hear anybody. And we were yelling for Dennis, and we couldn't find anything. And I tripped and fell
at
that point. And I ended up with a shard of bone buried in my right knee. Ripped through my jeans, right into my knee.
Oh,
and I didn't know what it was when I fell on it. But when I stopped and I put my light on it and I pulled it out, because you know me, I'm a paramedic. Just rip it out, put dirt in it, and it's fine. I looked at it real close, and it was a shard of bone. Now, I don't know if it was animal or human, but what I tripped over was one of those 5 slots that have the mounding over the top in the semicircle that have the yucca plants, the Jerusalem thorn, as almost like headstones. Because that's what I saw when I looked up after I got myself out of the dirt. I looked up and I saw the yucca plants.
Oh, wow.
And I thought, what? Those aren't native to here. And that's when Dennis later told me that's what they would use to mark the graves of their dead. So I have pictures of the bone. I could post them on your site or what have you. But when the cabin got robbed, bone got taken.
Oh, my
gosh. So I
gosh.
have pictures of this bone. And you can see where it had been gnawed by little critters with little teeth.
Right.
But the interesting thing about it was you could still see the cap of the humerus where it articulates to the elbow. And the saw striation of how this thing cut off. The saw striations were so perfect. And it was just mind-boggling to me. So that was my first event out there. And then after I pulled the bone out of my leg, I looked up and I could see flashlights again. And I yelled for Dennis, and he yelled back, and he came and he got us. And we went back to the cabin to clean up my leg, and he was looking at the bone like, holy crap, this is crazy.
Right.
But that's the night that they discovered the 5 slots, because I fell in them.
Oh, my God.
But it was this whole time warp continuum of absolute, it was just me, that man, and his son. Nobody else was around. We could not find them. And all of a sudden, it was like a veil lifted, and now we could see flashlights, we could see glow sticks, but they weren't there for that whole event.
That is so wild.
Falling over the burial pit. It was just insane. And then we had gone out for another investigation. It was my first time my husband, Robbie, had joined us. And when I walk into the house of the Brick Rancher, I open the door and I yell to Dobby in the basement elf, honey, I'm home! I scare the hell out of that thing because it pissed me off. And Robbie was in the house with us. When we came back out, we were all sitting on the front porch of the cabin, and Robbie was leaning over the railing, and he was very quiet and separated from the group, and that's not him. He's an extremely social man from New Orleans and talks to anybody.
Right.
And loves to talk to people. So for him to be off by himself and unsocial was really strange. So I walked over to him, and I put my hand on his back and started rubbing his back and asked him, baby, are you okay? And he looked, his head rotated slowly, and he looked at me like he was about to rip my head off.
Oh, my gosh.
I was not looking at my husband. Those were not his eyes. It was not his face. His face was contorted in anger. He's never looked at me like that.
Oh, my
Even when I
gosh.
pissed him off. Never. He's the gentlest spirit in the world. Well, Dennis was standing just to Robbie's right, and I looked up at Dennis and I said, something ain't right. He said, step away from him for a minute. So I did, and Robbie was back just kind of leaning on the porch, and his whole body was not, something wasn't right. It just was, you just had that feeling.
Right.
Right. So Dennis grabbed him by the scruff of the neck and said, come on, son, we got some stuff to do. He went out, put him behind the cabin, put him on his knees in the dirt, and said prayers to St. Michael over him, and kicked off Dobby.
Oh,
Now, here's where it gets better. Well, he's back in the backyard praying with my husband to get this thing off of him, whatever this clinger was. My daughter, who's a flight attendant for Delta, calls me on the phone. And she says, Mama, I just wanted to tell you before you hear anything on the news, I'm safe. I said, what the hell happened? She goes, we had an engine fire. We lost an engine today in the air, and we had to make an emergency stop in Atlanta. But before you hear anything about it or see it on Facebook, I want you to know I'm okay. So not only did this thing attack my husband, but I firmly believe that it also attacked my daughter. So because I come at this thing full frontal, he can't attack me. He just can't get to me. But instead, he went around a back door and attacked the two people I love most.
Right. That's scary that something is so powerful that it can do
Robbie
that.
and I have some words to have at the next event, so that little, I won't say bad words on your show, but that little and I are going to have a little minute. We're going to have a come to Jesus meeting because you don't mess with mine.
My show's
That was my second or third time for the cabin.
Oh my goodness. My show's like X-rated, and people know that, or R-rated, so not X, R-rated, so people know that there's going to be some cussing. Yeah, people know that this is an R-rated show, or R-rated. I keep saying X-rated, R-rated show.
Well, I'm not going that far. I mean, Dennis posted the banana picture day. It was bad enough.
I know. Let's hope that they'll ever seep out anywhere.
Just trying to eat breakfast. So, I'm going to go back to talking about, so not only do we have the cabin, which has been a known portal of coming and going of multiple spirits.
Mm-hmm.
Not only do we have the Civil War soldiers, both Union and Confederate, but we have the brothel upstairs that is extremely active. We know that every business that's been in this building has failed within a year. We have the Brick Rancher, and there's the story of Melissa, which I'm going to encourage you to tell because you probably know way more about it than I do.
Well, at the Brick Rancher, there was this little girl that was getting ready to go to school, and
Junior high, wasn't it?
yeah, her stepbrother raped and murdered her and took her body out and shoved it in a cooler. So that is what happened at the.
I thought there was a refrigerator box or something.
Refrigerator box.
Awful.
Yes, it was a refrigerator box. Thank you. So that is the story, part of the story on the Brick Rancher, and there's documented evidence that Melissa is still there, and her brother, of course, her stepbrother, went to prison, but he's been released since. So it's a pretty.
Yeah, just recently too.
Yeah, it's a pretty active. It's a pretty active place. I'm trying to look at numbers as we're talking because I have some people calling in, and I want to make sure that if Dennis does call in, that I'm not leaving him off. So sorry if I move around a lot.
No,
but
that's okay. You check your numbers. Dennis has, and I'll tell what Dennis has at the cabin about that. He has a copy of all of the newspaper reports and clippings that he could find on Melissa's murder, and investigation, and court reporting, and so I mean, he's got the documentation about what happened in that house.
He does.
Cabin. And if you take time when you come in and read that, and then go over to the Brick Rancher, it's an entirely different experience. And then Dennis had mentioned that Melissa sometimes gets blocked off by Dobby, the basement elf, because she'll be like, "Gotta go, he's coming," and then poof, she's gone.
Right.
Because he won't let her be with us when he wants to come upstairs.
Right.
And I find that to be interesting. So we've got the woods, we've got the cabin, we've got the Brick Rancher, and what we're gonna do, ladies, is we're gonna have one heck of a great slumber party. The check-in starts at 2 o'clock on the 30th of April, 2022. Dennis is going to be there to go over all this history in detail. He is the most phenomenal historian on this property. He's got the Civil War map, like to the day of when they were on the property. And he's got death totals and how many people died and whereabouts they were and the distances from property. And he's got all the articles, like I mentioned, about Melissa. And then the stories you can tell about the cabin, about even him being asleep in the cabin and then waking up to find an elderly man standing at his feet and that he drew his weapon and actually put a bead on it, and it disappeared.
Oh, wow.
So he's going to go through some of that history during his tour, and we're going to go out during the day, and we're going to see the cabin and the rancher and the woods during the day. Because I don't know if you guys are like me, but I kind of like to get acclimated to my surroundings before it gets dark.
Right.
That's just me. I want to learn where things are, including the bathroom. That's very important. But then once that happens, we're going to encourage everyone to go put out their sleeping bags and set up their tents wherever they feel brave enough to actually close their eyes and try to sleep later that night. So if you want to sleep in the basement of the brick rancher, bring your cot. Come on in. You want to sleep up in the brothel? You want to go camp in the woods? Awesome. We're just going to make sure, because we got I'm a nurse and Gwen is a police officer, that as everybody checks in, when we get your name and you figure out where you want to sleep, that we know where you're going to be, so that as the event coordinators are walking the property at night, we can just kind of count, make sure everybody's where they're supposed to be and that everybody's okay. Because this property has been known to cause teams to evacuate the premise in less than 15 minutes at the beginning of their investigation.
Yes.
And these are seasoned professional teams that call Dennis up and say, come lock it up, we're leaving. Okay.
Yeah.
So we just want to make sure everybody's safe and having a good experience. And then after you get your beds all set up and you know where you're going to be and you've checked in and told us where you're camping that night, we're going to have a nice potluck. So bring a dish to pass, bring snacks, soda. There's a Sam's Club and the grocery stores and things that we can make sure everybody gets to if they need to. And we're going to have a potluck. We're going to sit down and have potluck. We're hoping that the shelter that is going to come on board to receive the donations will send a representative and come out and talk about what a domestic violence shelter is and what they do.
Right.
So that we can answer any questions about that. And then once that's done, you guys are going to get a chance to hang out and meet Gwen and Stephanie and Vanessa. And they're going to tell you about their experiences and what they do and how they do what they do. Gwen's going to be there with some of her books. She's a prominent author, and she's going to be there to autograph books if you want to buy a couple copies. We're going to break out our tarot cards. We're going to have a slumber party. We're going to have some fun.
We're going to have a blast.
And then about 11 o'clock to midnight or so, we're going to Dennis said he's going to crack open the paranormal toolbox. We're going to go investigate all these spots. So the group, the ticket sales are limited to 30 people. So it's 30 participants plus Gwen, Vanessa, Stephanie, myself, and you, Geri, and Dennis. So with 6 people there, we figure we can go in groups of 5 and rotate locations to keep things small so that you can really experience the activity there. Once we've rotated through the positions and we've gone through some time in each location, that's when we're going to encourage you to keep your tools running and see if you can go to sleep and find out what happened.
Right.
In the morning, we're going to meet up. We're going to have a good breakfast. I'm thinking something campfire breakfasty like. Might do some cooking in the cabin, make some pancakes or something. I haven't quite figured out the details yet, but I love campfire cooking.
Yeah.
So there might be some bacon and eggs in there somewhere.
Yeah,
And then we're going to do a little blessing. Go ahead, Drake.
No, go ahead. No, finish up. Please. I mean, keep talking. I just said yeah.
We're going to do a little land blessing. We're not going, because it's Beltane, and we don't care what religion you are, if you're Christian, agnostic, Catholic, pagan, don't care. Everyone's welcome. Everyone can bring their prayers and their energy. Everyone can bring themselves to that portion. We're going to bless the land. We're not blessing the land to clear spirit. We're blessing the land to thank spirit. Mm-hmm. Thank you for letting us know you're here. Thank you for showing us what's coming next. Thank you for communicating with us. And then we're going to take a little bit and we're going to clean that cabin, vacuum, Windex, clean bathrooms, mop floors. And we're going to do the same thing in the brick rancher. Give it a little woman's touch.
Yeah.
Make it ready for the next investigation to come on. And then, of course, we're going to leave some flowers for Melissa. And if anyone has new toys, I don't want old, musty, smelly toys, but new toys like a teddy bear. We can't have a bunch of it, but, if you've got something special you want to leave for her, we'll leave it in her room. To write her a love note, we'll leave it in her room. If it can't stay there for long, because the property is technically for sale right now and they are showing it, But if it's, Dennis needs to clean it up, he can pack it up and take it on back over to the cabin.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, we're going to do that, leave that for Melissa, and then we'll vacate ourselves out about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so you'll have 24 hours solid on property. And, weird things happen even in the daylight over there.
Oh, God.
Weird things happen when you're just scrubbing the bathroom.
Yeah.
I was sitting in the bathroom, doing my girly business, the one in the cabin, and there's that little water heater, and then there's an open space right across from the toilet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting there going, okay, somebody's standing right here. Somebody's right here with me. I'm like, oh, what a weird feeling. So I just said, thanks, I'll be out of your space in just a minute. I'll finish my business, and I'll be gone. And then I did. And then an investigative crew came through the next week, and they were doing I can't remember what it's called, where they make the stick figures, where they can pick up and see.
Yeah.
Make little stick figures. And they shined that thing right into the bathroom and standing right where I felt somebody with a stick figure.
Oh, my God.
I'm a cute pervert.
That's creepy. I always feel like I'm being watched.
Weird stuff happens at all hours.
Excuse me, yeah.
In the bathroom and just watches everybody.
Yeah, I feel like I'm being watched when I'm in that bathroom. It's not even a feel like you are being watched. There is no feel like.
He's standing right there looking at you.
Yeah, there is no feel like in that situation.
There's I think there's one bathroom in the Brick Rancher. There's one bathroom in the one bathroom that's working in the cabin. I don't think the upstairs bathroom works.
No, it doesn't. Mm-mm.
If I'm right. So there's
one bathroom.
2 bathrooms for 30 participants. So we just have to, take time and go in pairs, because weird stuff always happens the minute you have your pants down.
Yeah, I don't know if I would want to go to the bathroom in the Brick Rancher. That's just kind of creepy. Like, how do you know Dobby ain't staring up at your butt cheeks when you're on the toilet?
Look, he can kiss those butt cheeks.
Ew, it's like creepy. Okay.
I also thought it was interesting. Speaking of Dobby, I thought it was interesting. Gwen's never had trouble with her computer programs to make the banner. But this time her computer crashed while she was making the banner for our event. I'm like, all right, Dobby, you starting it already, huh? Mm-hmm. That was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just...
So, but I'm thinking that this event is going to be the best paranormal slumber party. And if it goes over well, I would love to host another event. And like I said in the Facebook post, and to New Orleans, we can take these events all over to bucket list places like Trans-Allegheny or Winchester Mansion if we can get in to investigate, or to the Whispers Mansion in Indiana with Van, and over to maybe the Hinsdale House. These are all places that Boo Bitches are willing to investigate with good strong teams of female investigators. So I'm hoping that this will get a little bigger than just 367.
Right.
But I couldn't think of a better place to start, because this place has it all.
Yeah. Yeah, and it has so much history to it.
Tell me what you know. Tell me what you know about our guests. Because I've only met them by chat and phone calls, but I haven't had a chance to, I'm a horrible person, I haven't had a chance to read a bio or check out a fan page or anything. So tell me about Gwen and Vanessa and Stephanie.
Well, Vanessa has been on my show. Vanessa Hogel has been on my show before. And she is the author of quite a few books, and you can actually find her on Amazon. She sells her books on Amazon. She does readings. She's a psychic medium as well. Miss Gwen, I have recently met, so you'll have to apologize, or I'll have to apologize. I know that Gwen and her have a t-shirt company together. Beyond that, it goes clothes and everything, and I'll have to apologize. Like, my shirt that I have is downstairs, and she's probably going to get me for not remembering the name of the company. But they do t-shirts, just everything you can think of. And I know that Gwen is a author as well. Now, Stephanie is a psychic medium, and I know that she does readings. I'm not sure about cards. I think she does do cards also, because I saw where she was doing a I think she had a special going. It was like a 3-card draw for $10 or something like that. Very reasonable. So, we have them coming on the show September 29th. So it's going to be really cool to, have them come on as well and talk a little bit, just, a little bit about who they are. Um, and that's about all I can tell you with the guests that we have coming. Like I said, Vanessa has been on my show before, and we had a blast. She's just got that.
I cannot wait to meet them in person.
Yeah, all three of these ladies, even though I haven't met Stephanie or Gwen in person, they haven't been on my show. I just, recently, have met them through our conversations. They're not the type of people that you have to get to know. There are some people, how that goes. You have to get to know them. With them, it's like a connection instantly.
They've never met a stranger.
Yeah, exactly.
They've never met a stranger.
Yeah, it's an instant connection, and yeah.
Definitely hosting an event coming up here at the cabin pretty soon, okay?
Yeah, she has an event coming up. Oh my gosh, I think I shared it to my Vibe Time page. I want to say August 29th. I'm not sure, but if people go to the Vibe Time with Geri page, I know I shared it on there. Yeah, they got an event coming up. I do know that there is an event coming up to July 31st at the cabin as well. If you want to go on Virginia Paranormal's events page and look that up, or on the Cabin on 360's page also. But yeah, she has an event coming up in August, if I remember correctly, and I hope I'm right, because I'm trying to, let me see if I can navigate here real quick. Hopefully I don't screw anything up.
They still had tickets for sale. They were $60 a piece.
Yes, our tickets, yes. Is there a
chance for people to get to meet her and her partner? His name's Eric, right?
Yes. Actually, they had a show last week, and it was so good I didn't even want to do my own show. I love John Stevens. And he's the best. I mean, we're really, good friends. We do things together, not just paranormal, but, I know his sister Donna and Daryl, and he's the one who's going to build your golf cart in the future. It's actually John Stevens' brother-in-law.
Yes.
But,
So, can we talk for just a second about how men can be involved in this Boo Bitches organization?
Sure, go ahead while I'm sitting over here trying to navigate her event. Please talk about it.
One of the things we're going to do is we're going to post a link on how to donate directly to the shelter. And what's holding the link up is we're just waiting for the shelter to respond to us, because we don't want to blast them and give their name or use them in our advertising until we have permission. That's just not nice. So we're going to wait till they respond to it. But we're going to post a link on how to donate to the shelter with a list of items that the shelter is in need of. And anybody, male, female, animal, vegetable, mineral, whatever, can go to those links once we post them and donate money or items to the shelter in the name of Boo Bitches. And that's how men can be involved.
Right.
We're not going to have men at the event. And the reason being, we're not trying to exclude, but it is going to be an event where women who have suffered from domestic violence and abuse are going to be able to have a safe space to open up and, if they want to talk about their experience and to grieve that experience and maybe let some of that go. So we want that to be a women's only safe zone. So we're not trying to be exclusionary.
No.
But you can help by donating money. You can help by donating items and supplies. And the other thing that men can do that has nothing to do with Boo Bitches is be supportive of your partners. If they've experienced something like this and they want to talk, listen to them. Don't try to solve the problem. It's already happened, but listen.
Right.
Be compassionate. Then you can also volunteer at your local domestic violence shelter, because they always need a fella or two around to help with our air conditioner went out. We need shelving put up. The toilet is plugged. We're women. We don't know how to do all this stuff all the time. Most of us do, but sometimes we need a little help.
Right.
So volunteering at your local domestic violence shelter is a phenomenal way provides a sense of safety and security when the only thing you were able to get out of the house with was maybe your car keys and your kids. And I can't tell you as a domestic violence counselor how often I was an advocate for many years from Case Passage in DeKalb, Illinois. The women barely made it out with their lives, let alone any of their possessions.
Right.
And we always had one gentleman on site at all times to answer the door because these men would follow them to the shelter.
Oh,
so
yeah.
having a presence there is always nice. Now, that's something you guys, if you want to consider it, would probably be relished in the community. So that's how guys can help in this event. And, of course, if you want to cook stuff and send it along with your lady, we'll gladly eat your barbecued ribs. Send them on. We'll eat them.
That's
Or
right.
if you make a really good cheesecake, we'll eat that too. So you can cook for the event. That's not a problem. Just send it along. One thing I do want to mention is this is going to be a non-alcoholic event. Due to the emotional end of it, due to what the spirit that's already on property that can really mess with someone, we want everyone to be at the top of their game. So
Right.
we can serve mocktails, but it'll be, there's near beer here, but no beer near here.
Right. That's right. I think it's going to be an awesome event. That you've just got, like I said, you've got, like you said, the 24 hours to be on the premises. You have 3 special guests coming. It's helping a good cause. Overnighter, 3 places to investigate. And it's $60, and that, that goes to domestic violence.
But all proceeds and everything we earn is going to the shelter. So if I go to Sam's Club and buy toilet paper, paper towels, 6 plates, press silverware, that's coming out of my pocket.
Yeah.
That's not coming out of the fund.
No.
If I go and buy a bunch of soda pops, it's coming out of my pocket. Everything that is donated, every dollar that we for ticket sales, every dollar that's donated, every product that's donated is going directly to the shelter.
Right. That's right.
I think that's real important for folks to know.
Right. I was still trying to look for...
And that's why...
Go ahead.
Oh, the event. I said that's also the reason why it's a non-refundable event. I've had some questions about, if I can't go. So, ladies, if you buy a ticket, and I know it's a ways away in the 2020, into 2022, if you buy a ticket and realize, oh man, I forgot my niece's wedding's that weekend, or you get sick, or something happens and you can't come, you can gift your ticket to another person, another woman to attend. And just let us know, and we'll change the name so that we have them on our roster.
Right.
If you can't attend and you don't have anybody you can give your ticket to, your money's still going to go directly to the shelter, so that's the way to make a donation.
Right. Right. I just found her event. Duh. It is at the Cabin on 360. It's at 7 o'clock. It's going to be August the 14th at 7. So they have their event listed on the Cabin on 360's page. If anybody wants to join that event, it's going to be with Stephanie and Eric. And I have not met them in person yet. Like I said last week, he had a really good show. Dennis was on there. If y'all can go back in and watch that, that was an excellent show. It really was. Eric Knapp is his last name, and like I said, I didn't even want to do my own show because I was just, I think that's one of the best historical talks that Dennis has ever done. I don't know why I thought that, but that's how I felt. It just kept me sitting there watching. So, and Dennis has done a lot of presentations about, the Cabin on 360 and the history. So whoever's,
One of the places I'd love to see the Boo Bitches go is Panther Park.
Yeah, that would be cool too. And we can get there. We can get we can go wherever, wherever we want to go, as long as we put the work, into it. And we have a pretty good team of people that we're working with.
Absolutely. But Henricus would be amazing. So would Cancelin Park.
Yeah, Henricus would be
That
cool.
would be awesome. All
Consider.
those ladies out in the woods.
Yeah, I've never been to Henricus, but I know I don't want to go by myself.
Wait, what did you say?
I have.
Did I hear you say you've never been to Henricus?
I have not ever.
Girl.
No, I haven't.
You live right close.
I know. Cheeto friend, Cheeto sister. I haven't been yet.
You're gonna display the Cheetos.
Yeah. Yeah.
I Cheetos became an instant friend because I shared my Cheeto pups with you.
Yeah, she shared her Cheeto pups with me. That's how we established. That's how we established our beautiful relationship that we have today. Through Cheetos. Cheetos, listen, Cheetos brings people closer together.
Because I need to wipe my fingers on your shirt.
No.
I'm going to rub your back for a second. Just ignore those cheesy streaks.
Yeah, no, you would do that too. Oh my gosh. I'm going to have to watch her at one of the events.
I'd use Dennis's shirt.
Yeah. No, our plan for Dennis is that we plan to hog tie him, put him in a pink wig, and paint his fingernails. We have it all figured out.
Oh, I don't know. I think I'm going to order him a set of those Cardi B, clacker nails. And glue them on his fingers when he's hog-tied.
Girl, I have some of those. Like, I have hot pink Lee press-on nails. It's perfect.
They need to be longer. They need to be talons, big, long, Cardi B. Okay.
Oh, yeah, the ones where he can flick his fingers and then scare the crap out of us in the woods. I could just see this all come into play.
Click, 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 clack, clack, click, clack, clack. I think I've got the same type feet as you, Dennis. I bet I got a pair of high heels somewhere he's fit into.
He probably could. Anybody got a tutu?
That'd be worth it.
Yeah, that would be.
Oh, Lord. Everybody shows up in a tutu. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my God. That would be hilarious. Like, we would be called sluts, honestly. We would be. Because I have a clear cut. I told you the night I wore my pink wig, and I had on boots, tights, and a shirt. I can't remember the shirt I wore. And when I went out to the woods, we were running necrophonics, and the guy goes, "You slut." And it was so, yes, he did call me out. It was so clear cut. And I'm like, oh my gosh, because I guess I didn't match, of course, their time era, but I will never forget that recording. And I actually think we have it on a Facebook Live. It's somewhere down in my videos. We have that. Where he says, "You slut." Funny, not funny, because they could probably.
I'm curious to think about what it will be like when an all-women group hits LA.
Yeah.
All those filters.
Yeah.
How many people are going to get touched? How many people are going to get their hair cutted? How many people are going to get their clothing pulled on?
Yeah.
And I'm really curious about that. And then what's the reaction of the women in the brothel are going to be?
Right. I just wish I had I wish I had an outfit where I could wear as like a trigger object, like an old historian type outfit. Maybe if I lose some weight, I might be able to fit into one of Michael White's costumes. Never know. He's the only one I know that does the reenactments besides Chris, but I don't think I think he's too tall and his arms are too long. I'm just curious. He might let me borrow a couple of things. I might be able to fit one finger in his arm.
They do have an entire closet of Civil War era costumes at Pamplin that the reenactors wear.
Oh.
And I have a full set of Civil War widows weeds, like the full hoops and the whole kibosh. I wonder if that would be a trigger.
You know what? I wonder if you could like lug that with you.
Well, I'll be driving down because one of the things we're going to try to do is have some kind of support for folks that do need to run to the grocery store, over to the 7-Eleven, or, in case somebody gets hurt, we have, if we don't need an ambulance, we have a car that can take someone to the hospital, or
Right.
even if you need rides from, to and from the airport or to and from your hotel, that we can. That's another thing that I mentioned that we can talk about too, because I don't know if everybody's going to want to stay on the property. Some people will be like, hell to the no.
Right.
Once they get there, they might be like, I ain't sleeping here. To find out if there's a hotel in Mechanicsville that would host a block of rooms. So if somebody doesn't want to stay, they could get a discounted hotel room, and then we would just, give them a ride back and forth from the hotel to the cabin and back whenever they decided that they'd had enough.
Right, because some people do. I mean, it's the cabin. I've seen it affect quite a few people, even myself. My very first investigation there, I had to leave the basement of the Brick Rancher because I had such an overwhelming amount of feelings, and all I kept thinking about was rape in there. I couldn't help it, and it was just so overwhelming that I left. I had to get up, leave. I started to get nauseated. I started to taste metal in my mouth, and then when I got back to the actual cabin, Michael asked me if I was okay because I just have never experienced anything like that investigating. And then the second time in the basement, something ran their claws up the back of my neck. And not only did they run it up the back of my neck, they ran it up John Stevens, the back of his neck too. So we both had to leave at that point because when I start tasting metal, like a heavy metal, I know that blood has like a different taste. This wasn't the taste of blood like at Pamplin. When I was standing in that tent, I could taste blood. It was different at the basement. It was a whole yucky, metallic, nasty taste. Wasn't blood. So we had to leave because I just, when when I taste that, I know from myself, I just exit because it's not a good thing to me. So I just, left. But it's just been quite a few experiences there. But you could just, I can still.
And I'm prepared for people to come to us and say, like, I'm out. I gotta go.
Yeah.
We'll take your name off the list and take you back to the hotel.
Yeah.
Be like, okay.
Yeah.
Come on back and we'll come get you in the morning for breakfast if you want to come on back.
Right, and
I'll have my Dodge Durango with me so we can at least provide rides if they need to.
Yeah, and I'll bring my smudge spray and kits with me too, just to, make sure people are really good and cleansed. And, because like I said, things happen. I mean, the last investigation that I helped lead, a lady she did not feel good. It just made her not feel well, and she ended up having to stop. So, you never know on any investigation what could happen. You just don't know.
Right.
So, yeah. But I know that
I always a world of unknown.
Yeah. Once we get, our tickets all sold, then we'll, talk to the, I thought it was the Holiday Inn Express that was there. If somebody could quote me if I'm wrong on that. I could have sworn that's what was like 7 minutes from the cabin. It's not far from the cabin at all. So, yeah.
And that, those are arrangements we can make once we have the tickets sold.
Yeah.
And then we'll start talking to members about what their needs are, all the way through from medical conditions and allergies to food or allergies to out in the woods, to what kind of camping gear to bring and bug spray and what the weather is going to be looking like. We'll have as much detail as we possibly can so that people can be prepared.
Right. Yeah.
For whatever.
Exactly. And hopefully it's a nice weekend that weekend. Hopefully it's nice all the way around as far as where that weekend is concerned, because even if it rained like we talked about, we still have the cabin in the Brick Rancher, so it doesn't, That doesn't matter, but we're hoping it doesn't
You
do
know,
that.
I'll put my rain boots on and my poncho and go out in the woods. I don't care.
Oh, heck yeah. You just...
I'll put my rain gear on and go out there. Don't worry.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've been out.
There's a group that wants to go out there.
Yep, I've been out with, you know, when I went to, Old House Woods, we've went there in the middle of a storm. We don't run equipment, but we have went out there and, you know, we do that. Hell, that's the best time.
I don't recommend umbrellas out there.
Oh, no.
All the trees and stuff, and the fact that you can get pretty gnarly stuck.
Right.
But, you know, if you got your rain poncho on and your rain boots, you'll be all right.
Yeah, you'd be all right. You can just be like one of these die-hard Urbana Oyster Fest fans. When they come out here and they don't care, it could be pouring lightning, rain, thunder, and they are die-hard in their rain boots, umbrella, and raincoat. They're just die-hard Oyster Fest people. Rain don't stop them from nothing.
Well, oysters, come on now.
Yeah. Yeah. So, maybe you can...
Well, is there anything else we need to talk about that event? Does anybody have any questions?
I didn't see any questions on my live. The only thing I saw was Gene Wells telling me to smile, and I wanted to say that it was too moist out, but he's done left my show. I was going to say, Gene, it's just...
I love that man.
Yeah, I was going to say it's too moist out, but he's already gone. So I guess I can't say that.
We didn't bore anybody to death, but you know, if you can come out to the cabin on 360 here, April 30th, May 1st, we would love to have you, ladies, come out and be the first inaugural Boo Bitches event, and you'll see where it goes from there.
Yeah. I think it's going to go places. And, you know, just to say, too, that there are a couple more events in between that. One is at the cabin July 31st. It's going to be with Holly Mullins. And then there's the second event, like I said, with Eric Knapp and Stephanie. I always mess it up. Hutnick. I hope I say that right. Please forgive me if I don't. Their event is going to be August the 14th. And like I said, you know, you're never going to get the same thing at the cabin. So it doesn't... One event doesn't, you know, take precedence over another one, if you will. There's always different energy out there every time I go. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I never get the same thing.
Sometimes you go and...
Yeah. I mean, I never get the same thing.
Nothing happens, and sometimes you go and you're running through your car.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, so far, you know... Yep, I haven't had the experience. I haven't had that experience. I mean, when I was doing Reiki up there, when I was doing some Reiki and readings, which I will be doing that September 25th at the cabin. I'll be doing Reiki and readings. I'm going to bring my stuff out there and do that and have some of my stuff available.
You're going to do that for the event too, right?
I am. Yes, ma'am. Indeed. I'm going to do that for the event as well. So, I had my body cam on because I always wear a body cam when I go to any investigation. And the minute I hit them steps, the first thing the guy said was, "Get out." You know, so, you know, I'm like, oh my gosh, but that, you know, you just never get the same thing at the cabin ever. So we got about 4 minutes.
I'm excited.
I am too. We've got
4 minutes.
Yep. We got 4 minutes.
4 minutes.
Yeah.
Like a Justin Timberlake song. Didn't he sing a song called 4 Minutes with Madonna? I got 4 minutes to save the world.
Yeah, you got 4 minutes. 4 minutes and 21 seconds.
Oh boy, what can we talk about for 4 minutes and 21 seconds?
Well, I think our event is going to be really cool. I really do. I can't wait for the potluck.
You know, my biggest challenge is coming in from Illinois for the potluck. Poor Hope is going to have to let me use her kitchen.
Oh yeah, girl, and I know you can do some cooking too, because I've seen some of your stuff on Facebook, and I just want to reach all the way to where you're at and eat it.
It's good.
I know. I have seen your stuff. I know. Yep, I know.
I love to cook. we've been doing this low carb keto thing. You know, taking off 25 pounds doing it so far. And,
Awesome.
we eat like kings because it's so yummy.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is so sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm about to get loved on by the dog. Hello, dog. Hey, Daisy.
Yeah, I'm not quite there. I tried the keto. It didn't quite work for me. So right now I'm just watching what I eat. And I did manage to drink my 151 ounces of water today. You would be proud.
How many times are you in the bathroom?
Quite a few.
Yeah.
Quite
Your body will adjust to that, though, and that will slow down a little bit. But I think it's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you. And I even went
it's
to
not
the...
an easy chore, is it?
No, it's not. I even went to the extremes of ordering just a big gigantic jug, 128 ounce jug, and then whatever I have to drink after that, I'll do it.
How was your dizziness today after you drank all the water?
My dizziness feels, before I got the water in, I was really dizzy. But my headache wasn't like it was because I've been getting headaches every day, for the last 2 weeks now. But that drinking the water, it kind of, I don't know, I feel different knowing that I'm more hydrated, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I feel better.
It takes a while for your tissues to absorb everything they need, but you'll eventually get nice and fluffed up.
Yeah.
All your stones will be happy.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to find out how your dizziness is after you've combated dehydration.
Yeah. Yeah, me too, because I honestly thought I was drinking the amount of water that I should have been drinking, and now I have found out through you that I was not. So I appreciate you. Really, I appreciate you because I would have...
Just remember, anytime you ask a nurse a question, you have to get her a present for Nurses Week.
That's right. Oh, I won't forget. When Nurses Week comes up, you can, I'll be sending you something, boo-boo.
I think I'm going to need some boo-bone spray.
Okay. It's done. You know you got an unlimited supply of that.
I'll spray it on my patients that are a pain in the butt.
You know you got an unlimited.
So good, too.
Yeah, that's my top secret special recipe. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, it's awesome. I love it. I like to wear this perfume stuff.
Yep. Well, listen, we got about...
What's your time now?
We got 40 seconds to get our butts... to get off the air.
Thank you so much for having me on, and thank you even more for being my coordinator and partner in crime on this.
Aww.
Because I couldn't do it. I could not do any of this by myself, and being able to have such an amazing team to work with has been such a blessing. And you, my boo sister, are a rock star.
Oh, thank you. I love you. You're such a sweetie. From day one I met you.
All right, plug your next show because you got 30 seconds.
I am. All right, I will talk to you later.
All right, love you, boo-boo.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye. Everybody that tuned in to Vibe Time Live, I'm making sure I'm totally off the air. I really appreciate it, and I have sent a lot of invites out for people to like the page. Facebook is kind of weird with stuff because you know how you go to invite somebody and you have a whole list of people that you're inviting. Well, if they don't accept the invitation, when you go back in to invite again, it still has those invites like listed as an invite. So if I invite you more than one time, I don't mean to. But anyway, it's Boo Bitches Paranormal. Let me go over here real quick. This stuff gets confusing because I'm on my laptop trying to search stuff. But anyway, it is a public group. So we have quite a few members that have joined already, and we've invited several people, and this is a women's only group. So not, like she said, not to leave men out. But anyway, I appreciate y'all tuning in. And next week on my show, it's going to be very cool. I'm not going to announce my special guest just yet, but I can say that he does special investigations and tours in Williamsburg. So I've had the opportunity to investigate with him one time, but it was so much fun. So I'll make that announcement later, and y'all just tune in every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I really appreciate y'all's support in watching my show, listening to it, and watching my Facebook Lives. I love you guys. Thank you so much. And Jean, I smiled. I was dizzy. That's the usual.